In the beginning, before the first breath of man stirred the clay, before the rib was taken and shaped into woman, there existed another garden, a place where 7 mothers walked among trees that bore fruit of pure light, where rivers flowed not with water, but with the essence of creation itself. They called it the Garden of Origin, and within its sacred boundaries, the first spark of feminine divinity took root in the world. The eldest among them was known as Sophia, though her true name was written in a language that predated all tongues. Her hair flowed like silver streams, and her eyes held the depth of eternity. Each morning, she would gather her 6 sisters beneath the tree of knowing, its branches heavy with crystalline fruit that hummed with ancient melodies. "Sisters," Sophia would whisper, her voice carrying the weight of cosmic responsibility. "We are the weavers of what is to come. Each thread we spin today will become the tapestry of tomorrow's children." The second mother, Aisha, whose hands could shape starlight into solid form, would nod solemnly. "But what if our creation grows beyond our understanding? What if they choose paths we never intended?" These were the questions that haunted their days and filled their dreams with prophetic visions. For the 7 mothers possessed a gift that was both blessing and curse. They could see the threads of possibility stretching into the distant future, watching potential realities unfold like flowers blooming in fast motion. The garden itself was alive with their presence. When they walked, flowers sprang from their footsteps. When they sang, the very air shimmered with colors that had no names. The third mother, Miriam, was keeper of the seeds, and from her palms grew every plant that would one day feed the world. The fourth, Elena, breathed consciousness into clay figures, watching them take their first steps with the wonder of a child, watching butterflies emerge from cocoons. "Look," Elena would say to her sisters, pointing to her newest creation, "they dream even before they fully wake. Is this not the most beautiful thing?" But as the eons passed, a shadow began to creep into their perfect sanctuary. The fifth mother, Kali, whose gift was to see endings as clearly as beginnings, felt it first. Her dark eyes would fix on the horizon during their evening gatherings, and her voice would tremble when she spoke. "Something approaches," she warned them one twilight as they sat in their circle of creation. "A force that believes creation must have dominion rather than harmony. It does not understand that to nurture is to rule, that to love is to lead." The sixth mother, Isis, keeper of sacred mysteries, began to have dreams that filled her with dread. In these visions, she saw their garden replaced by another, smaller, more controlled. She saw their children's children forgetting the names of their first mothers, forgetting that creation began with feminine hands. "They will call us myth," she told her sisters, tears flowing like rivers down her cheeks. "They will rewrite our story and place themselves at the beginning." The youngest of the 7, Gaia, whose body was the earth itself, felt the tremors of change in her very bones. "I can feel it coming," she whispered. "The time when our garden must sleep, when our truth must hide beneath layers of new stories." If you enjoy these kinds of stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our content. And tell us in the comments where you are watching from. We would love to know. As the presence they had sensed drew nearer, the 7 mothers made a choice that would echo through all of time. They gathered at the heart of their garden, where the tree of knowing grew tallest, its roots reaching deep into the core of existence. "We must preserve what we can," Sophia declared, her voice heavy with the weight of sacrifice. "If our garden cannot remain, then we must ensure our essence continues in other ways." Each mother took from the tree of knowing a single fruit, and within each crystalline sphere, they placed a piece of their divine nature. Aisha pressed her creativity into the light. Miriam sealed her nurturing spirit within. Elena breathed her gift of consciousness into the crystal. Kali enclosed her wisdom of cycles and endings. Isis wrapped her mysteries in layers of symbolic protection. Gaia merged her connection to all living things with the fruit's essence. And Sophia, the eldest, took the seventh fruit and spoke these words, "Into this I place the memory of what was, and the promise of what shall be again. Though our garden may be forgotten, though new stories may be written over ours, the truth will endure. It will live in the hearts of those who seek, in the dreams of those who remember, in the souls of daughters yet unborn." Dizzy, as they completed their work, the garden around them began to fade, not destroyed but transformed, shifting into a realm that existed between memory and hope. The seven mothers felt themselves changing too, becoming less physical, more archetypal, preparing to live on in the collective unconscious of their children's children. The new gardener arrived at dawn, walking with purpose and authority, ready to plant his own vision of paradise. He found only empty land, fertile and waiting, with no trace of what had come before, save for 7 trees that seemed older than time itself, their branches heavy with fruit that glowed with inner light. He would not see the significance of these trees, would not hear the whispers of ancient mothers in their rustling leaves. He would plant his garden around them, unknowing that he built upon foundations laid by wiser hands, foundations that would outlast all the gardens that might come and go. But those who knew how to look would find traces, in the way certain flowers bloomed without explanation, in the dreams that came to women in the deep of night, dreams of gardens within gardens, of mothers who sang creation into being. In the pull that some felt toward ancient wisdom, toward the divine feminine that could never be fully erased. The 7 mothers, now existing in a realm beyond time, watched as their prophecies unfolded. They saw their garden story transformed, diminished, forgotten by many. They witnessed the rise of new mythologies that placed masculine energy at the center of creation. But they also saw something the new gardener could not. The seeds they had planted were taking root in ways he never imagined. In every act of creation performed by feminine hands, they lived again. In every mother who sang her child to sleep, in every woman who trusted her intuition over authority, in every soul who sought the divine through nurturing rather than conquering, the garden of origin bloomed anew. Sophia, from her place beyond the veil, would smile as she watched these small resurrections. The garden was never a place, she would whisper to her sisters. It was always a way of being, and ways of being cannot be destroyed, only remembered or forgotten. As the ages turned and the wheel of time spun forward, some began to remember. Mystics and seekers, poets and dreamers, archaeologists of the soul who dug beneath the surface stories to find older truths. They wrote of divine mothers, of goddess cultures, of times when creation was seen as a collaborative dance rather than a singular act of will. The 7 fruits that contained the mother's essence remained hidden in plain sight, waiting for those ready to taste their wisdom. They appeared in sacred texts disguised as symbols, in works of art that made viewers weep without knowing why, in moments of profound connection between mother and child, lover and beloved, seeker and mystery. And still the garden of origin exists, not in any physical realm, but in the space between heartbeats, in the pause between question and answer, in the eternal now, where all possibilities coexist. Those who find their way there discover what the 7 mothers always knew, that creation is not about dominion, but about love, not about control, but about trust, not about ending, but about endless beginning. The shadow that once threatened their garden still moves through the world, still seeks to make creation smaller, more manageable, more controllable. But it cannot touch the deeper truth that the 7 mothers embodied, that the feminine principle is not separate from creation, but is creation itself, endlessly giving birth to new possibilities, endlessly nurturing what exists, endlessly transforming what no longer serves into fertile ground for what is yet to come. In quiet moments, when the noise of the modern world falls away, some still hear their voices carried on the wind, still catch glimpses of their garden shimmering just beyond the edge of sight. They are the guardians of the original dream, the keepers of the first story, the mothers who wait patiently for the world to remember that before there was dominion, there was love, and before there was control, there was the infinite creativity of the divine feminine, creating not because it had to, but because creation was its joy. And if you liked this story, you will definitely love the next one that's appearing on your screen. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave your like and activate the notifications. See you in the next one.